on by Gap Casual Guy. Prestige Schnitzel, a deserved win coming up here. And Prestige Schnitzel won it well from Toronado Queen, Casual Guy and Callio, and then came neck, three quarters, very surreal, and Dane on tour, and Serious Statement forges a way to win. Serious Statement from very surreal, Dane on tour, a wall of them for four. Matavai was there, was 50, starting to paddle, and here comes Verdad now. Reset the Jazz, joined and headed by Verdad, and Verdad got in. Verdad by a neck reset. And a half in front of Fujita San and Golden Crusader, and it's Immediacy, another favourite's going to get in. Immediacy wins from Fujita San, Golden Crusader. Down the outsiders, putting in big bounds though, moving out from last to first, races away to win the Guineas. It's moving out first by 2 lengths. Perilous fighter wearing a down hedge, and War Machine is flying. The instructor's holding on. War Machine dives. Made it really interesting on the line, but the instructor, I think, has just lasted.
Race number 1 at Moonee Valley is the Evergreen Turf handicap over the 1,000 metres, and I've chopped and changed my tip for this race that many times it's not funny, but I'm gonna go with All Pink here. I just think of this horse, first use of the track, it won't matter if she'll handle the wet ground or not. So it's just on the hammer of Saluted, who should lead for fun and come charging or get off that horse's back, or just be, will be right there and come storming over the top of them and bolt away as it did last start. I like the fact that last start it kept coming and didn't show signs of stopping and did it soft on the post. So after going back and having a look at it, I think it's deserving to be my top tip here. Tatsu Bella run well, wet track query, though the trials and jump outs leading him have been impressive. Saluted should get to the front pretty easily, and if the track's playing up and in, which I think it might, it will be suited. And El Zaro in for fourth in the 4-horse field, but All Pink for mine in the first. Looks hard to beat over the 1,000 metres. Race number 2 at Moonee Valley is a Manhari benchmark 84 over 1,200 metres, and I am with LOU on top here. The markets wanted to be with this horse ever since the market was released. They're back 2 here in LOU and Prince Zero. I just think LOU, wet track form, in form, bolted in last start at the Valley, will handle any track that this, any surface that comes up at the Valley. Leads for fun here. Prince Zero, everybody's pegging it going forward. Yeah, it's led twice in its career. It's not an out-and-out leader where LOU's nearly in every start's gone forward. I'd rather be with him over Prince Zero, even though I will concede that Prince Zero gets the lightweight and clear second pick. Extra 2 has been racing well against the mares and looks the class horse of the field, though back in the field on a wet track isn't a good recipe around the Valley, and DK in for fourth. But LOU on top, race 2 at the Valley, pretty keen on its chances. Race number 3 at the Valley is the Western General Bodyweight benchmark 78 over 1,200 metres, and I am with She's All Shenanigans. It's been a while since I've tipped this horse, but this horse in her career has been a very good mare for me. I think Barrier 1, weight off for Logan, the weight off with Logan Bates' claim. Barrier 1, straight to the front, class horse in the field, kick, win. I think that's the story. I think that'll be the story and all she wrote. Happy Leak in for second, has 54.5 kilos here and should be somewhere near the front as well, and does have a win over Treasure of the Moment last campaign, and is a clear second pick and clear danger to She's All Shenanigans. Excess in for third. Don't know if it can lead She's All Shenanigans, but will be up there somewhere near the pace, and can run well. And Isabella in for fourth. But I'm with She's All Shenanigans to bolt in race 3. Pretty confident. Race number 4 at the Valley is the FRS Fire Services benchmark 78 over the 1,000 metres. Another race over a sprint trip. New York Luster on top. Scratch from Flemington wins here over the 1,000 metres. Class horse on the way up, bolted in on many occasions last preparation, and narrowly won over She's All Shenanigans, who will win the prior race in race 3. I just think that this horse goes to the front and just won't be beaten here. Just will be a long way in front. I think the ground shouldn't be an issue from having a pretty good go on wet ground. I think having not, well, having one start on wet, the soft ground for placing, and one start on heavy for a win, she'll handle the track. And I think with that, leading 1,000 metres, best horse in the race, wins it. Fasudo in for second, gets a long way back. That could be charging home. In for second, Reduced Knight, Port Albert for fourth. It's all about New York last start. I don't need to say anything else. She'll win. Best horse in the race, bolts in. Race number 5 at the Valleys, the Ladbrokes Form Genius benchmark 100 over the 19 metres, and I've got Shorten Lane on top. And while I think that this track will play intensified to the leaders, up and in, there's no speed in this race. Well, the only speed horse is Chartres. That's why I've got it for second, but it's not good enough to beat Shorten Lane here, surely. Shorten Lane, best mile horse in the race, best horse in the race, and I think will prove hard to beat and get the chocolates here. Even though that the track should play to the leaders, this is the second horse. I don't think it will. And I think that Shorten Lane should just prove too classy here. Chartres in for second. Obviously, will be up on speed and showing a good kick for a long way. Might have the pattern in favour. Right and Rose, good horse on its day, and will be running well. And Nicolini Vito did beat Shorten Lane first up. Did beat Shorten Lane in the Victoria Handicap. But I just think Shorten Lane had the wide draw and was a long way back. It's a better draw here and can settle hopefully somewhere in the first couple and come charging over the top of them. Shorten Lane, I think it'll win. Race number 5 at the Valley is the Simmel benchmark 70 over 1,200 metres, and I am with Rivali here, clearly on top. This horse is a group class horse, bottom grade group class, maybe listed level, has to carry the weight for Paddy Maloney. Timmy Fitzsimmons trains, barrier 3. This horse is just going to win this. Weak field. Again, I think the pattern may be against it here, but I just think class gets it over the line. Very good SPs over in Singapore, and I think has been very consistent in its career. Best horse in the race, and I think it'll bowl it in. It's better than 70 grade, and I think we'll show it here. Catahoula ran really well last start, running second first up behind Primal Spirit. That horse just nutting Catahoula on the line. I think Catahoula will turn it around on Primal Spirit, even though Primal Spirit may have the pattern in favour. And Verdot in for fourth is lightly raced and can run well. But I just think, even though Rivali's first up with the weight, just is way better than benchmark 70 grade, and I'm happy to be with it, and I'm happy it's 650. Race number 7 at Moonee Valley is the Revert Group Handicap over the 1,200 metres, and I'm back to the theme of up in Moonee Valley, riding the rail and winning, which will be Let's Face the Music. Very good in its preparation this time, and bolting in its maiden, running really well at Flemington. Wasn't classy enough to prove it behind Autumn Glow, and then came back and ran really, really well last start from up on speed, only being beaten late by Manolo. Was up on speed with Manolo Bling, and that horse sprinted and couldn't get past it, but I thought it stuck on really well. Dean Yandel sticks here, and I think we'll ride this horse exactly how we'll ride All Pick in the first to hopefully lead, kick, win. I think that'll be the scenario to get it over the line. Stage and Screen, it's probably the best horse in the race and is weighted to its best. Just a query on soft ground. Does have no weight, best horse in the race in my opinion, but would have to lift off its last start effort to be winning, though does have no weight. Altacero will run well and untapped for 4, but let's face the music, it just looks his race to lose. Race number 8 on the program at Moonee Valley is the Dynamic Print Group benchmark 78 over 2,040 metres. Now this and race 5 were the two hardest races to do on the day. Race 5 purely because there was no speed in the race. This race because they're all donkeys. But having said that, I think Core is extremely hard to beat here. Should be somewhere near the front. Good draw. Can go forward. Will handle any conditions. Kieran Ma, those colours leading up to Warrnambool always run well. I know he hasn't got a runner in the annual this year, but I'm sure he's going to have bullets to fire over the carnival. And the fact it's here and not going to Warrnambool, I think that speaks volumes. Mukta Million for second can run well. Over the odds, in my opinion, at $13 can be charging home. Fortune Thought he was a little bit disappointing last start. That comes out of the same references course, so has to be in there. And Fagan, very good Moonee Valley horse and 2,000 and a 2,000 metre horse, has a great record over the trip at the Valley, so has to go in for 4th. But I think Core could run them off their feet in race number 8. I'm hoping he does. 650 looks a good price. Race number 9 at Moonee Valley to finish the day is the Manhari Recycling Benchmark 78 over the 1,600 metres, and I'm with Y Marie. The 2 leaders will be prominent here, but I'm with the class of the 2 of them. Y Marie to absolutely bolt in the last. I think that this horse is extremely hard to beat. Ran really well first up. Go back and have a look at his form throughout last preparation. Was running really, really well in a couple of very nice races. We know how those colours go at the Valley and how good they are on leaders. Shout the bar. For an example, Y Marie I think will be winning. Ran really well first up at 70 grade. Comes up from the 3rd into the mile here. Second up in a very good race. Can sit off Ambassadorial here if that horse decides to lead, or just lead outright on her own and just canter in. I'm expecting it to be Ambassadorial. Now that Alex Ray can run well and is running well and is coming out of one of the good form references that benchmark 84 from a couple of weeks ago at the Valley has provided a couple of winners already. Lording in for 3rd. I think he's the class runner of this field, and he's a very good Moonee Valley horse. He's had 4 starts at the Valley for 3 wins and a placing. Just a query, he's first up at the mile where we know he's going to be better suited 2,000 metres, and he doesn't have his blinkers on. So I just think wait. I think he'll be running home, and I think next start will be when you'll be wanting to bank him when he's up to 2,000 metres. And Falcon and Mulder can run well. But Y Marie to prove her class in the last over the mile, I think she can win it. Thank you for watching my preview for Moonee Valley. It looks like it's going to be a tough card. Couple of winners to be found at each way odds. I'm hoping that I get a couple of winners though with the track pattern and with the track pattern in play. Predicted track pattern in play or being up and in and a wet track could be difficult, but I think I found a couple of nice horses here. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you for the next week's preview.